Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And you know, I don't think I'm the only one who thinks that our youth have been misled, right? And I think it's also happened to our generation as well, the millennials. And I kind of feel sad that because I always thought like younger people would wake up to what um, I don't know if scam is the right word, but let's just go with it. A scam society is for most people because it is a scam. And really, the definition of a scam is that you're misleading people into what you're selling them, right? So, for example, if somebody sells me an app that does not absolutely nothing but charges me $2,000 and they're upfront honest about it, that's actually not a scam because they were upfront and honest about what they were selling, right? But if you sell me an app that says that can solve all my problems and do all these amazing things and it's 99 cents, right? If it's 99 cents and it doesn't do what you say you're going to do, that's a scam, right? People don't understand what the definition of scam is because they think, oh, automatically, like, if it's expensive, then it must be a scam. Sometimes people think like that. But what a scam is that if you're willing to pay the price that's offered and they don't keep their word, that's essentially what a scam is. And that's why I think society is a scam because I think these implied social contract is that, when you're, especially when you're a young kid, didn't you think like your teachers or your, authority figures, I don't want to throw parents in there because I know there are a lot of good, caring parents out there, but I'll just say parents in there too, right? The, didn't you think that they would actually teach you the skills to succeed? Or like they actually kind of cared or verified, like, if you go to school, then it's supposed to do this, and it doesn't do that for anybody? Like, as a millennial, we were the first generation to be screwed over by the previous generations, right? And one of the things that is unfortunate is that we as a society kind of just eat our young. Now, if you've never heard of the term eat our young, that's a term associated with nursing. And for some reason, it's, I don't know why, but nursing has like a really well known culture of anytime you're like a rookie or new, they just S test you. I don't want to say the actual bad word, out of you. Sometimes I think doctors do it too, but for some reason it's more associated with nursing. And here's the thing, in order for society to prosper, we actually have to mentor and teach the next generation to do things right. But the sad fact is that there are so many people profiting out of our misery, right? I mean, just think about just debt payments. Like that's a topic that should be relatively neutral, but so many people are basically profiting off of our bad decisions. And the reason why we make bad decisions is because we don't properly teach and mentor our youth. And the sad fact is we actually just kind of eat them, right? We eat our young. I don't even know why I'm laughing. Maybe I'm just laughing as a coping mechanism. But I think one of the things that was really hard for me when I was a young kid is that I didn't really like going to school. And the reason I didn't like going to school is because I felt like it wasn't for me. Yet so many people were trying to convince me, whether it's my family members or teachers, like I must go to school, right? Because you got to go to college and then get a good job. Listen, if you went to college and got a good job, more power to you, right? But there's a good number of people out there where it was just a demoralizing experience, and no, didn't most a good number of people didn't get anything out of it, right? Isn't that crazy? But that's just how or why it's necessary for us to actually be proactive in mentoring our future generations so that they can succeed because A, we're not going to live forever, right? And B, our society probably, I'm pretty sure you've heard this word, the big C word, for a long time, is going to quote collapse. Now I don't know if I really believe that, but I've heard a lot of that kind of talk in the past 15 years of my life, and so far as it happened. But again, it can be one of those things where like it just happens, in a blink of an eye, kind of like real estate prices just increasing in a blink of an eye. But I just kind of find it sad that in our society we just don't have any desire, or, and I'm talking about as a collective, not I'm not describing you. As a collective, we just don't have any desire to teach any real useful skills to our next generation. And not only that, You ever notice that the term gaslighting is actually like colloquially known these days? Like this was a term I first heard back in the 2010s, and it's like gaslighting. What is that? Oh, you're making people feel insane for by lying to them and telling them that they don't know what reality that they're in, right? That's really what gaslighting is, and it's kind of sad that we gaslight essentially entire generations just for the benefit for a small few, right? It's and now if you take a look and just do some Google searches, you kind of see that there are so many people out there suffering because honestly, society didn't really do a good job mentoring the next generation. And I could speak from my own personal experience as a former teacher. So I don't know if you knew this, but I actually did teaching for a couple of months, and I was like, I noped out of there because I was just like, I ain't gonna do this because this is BS. And when I taught for the first time, kids were so behind, and this was like 10 years ago. Like they were so behind. I was like, what? How can I be expected to be a teacher and when the kids are so behind and I feel like they're going to blame me, which is why I noped out of there, right? But again, we hold them in prison camps for 12 years, government indoctrination camps, according to several people, and then they don't learn anything. They go to college, they don't learn anything, and then we wonder why they're helpless. It's kind of screwed up, right? And it's funny because I actually haven't seen this video, but I saw the thumbnail. It's like, yeah, we destroyed Gen Z, right? We destroyed them. And here's the other thing too. Maybe not. Like maybe I'm the delusional one. I always like to consider like, hey, maybe I'm the delusional one, and everyone else actually is happy, right? But then the funny thing is that I get to meet people, and it turns out like, oh my goodness, you are suffering. Like, oh my goodness, you are drowning, and why don't you reach out? And that's why I have to make these videos because if there are people out there drowning and suffering, I gotta help them. But I only want to help people who want to be helped, right? You get what I'm saying? But again, a lot of people out there, a lot of our youth who have essentially just given up in life because they weren't taught anything at the prime years of their life where they should have been taught, right? Does that make sense? And this is a reason when I go back home and I meet people my age, they're just mentally checked out because nobody cares, right? Like nobody cares. And I don't know how to explain this. Like it's just kind of sad. And I don't even know what to do about it, to be honest, right? Too many bad decisions made, and people just passing the buck and then nobody caring. But again, I'm going to be the opposite of that, so I'm going to care a little bit at least, right? All right, well, this is Korean Atlanta mentorship, so this is just a quick rant about how our society essentially just produces lazy degenerates because we eat our young, and it's not their fault too, but it kind of is, right? Like here's the thing: people screw you over when you're young. At that point in your life, you can't really do anything about it. But once you become an adult, it's kind of like, if you've been eating fast food your entire life because your mom or dad fed it to you, once you become an adult, you kind of have to make the decision, okay, even though I was born with a bad deck of cards, I'm going to do my best to surpass that, right? And that's kind of what we're missing in this country nowadays, right? You ever notice like um, no one looks for inspiration in this country anymore, or very few people do. I hear the term American Dream from time to time, but it's just not the sentiment just isn't there because most people are entitled and nobody cares anymore. All right, well, this is creating Atlanta mentorship. Just want to let you know that I actually care. Um, Not that much, but I care a little bit, right? I care enough to let you know that I care. And I think that's what's really, this is what I say in other videos. Because the bar is so low, if you show people that you care a little bit, you're literally worth like $1 million. All right, well, that's just enough of me blabbing about whatever. So if you're interested in joining our mentorship group, go ahead and click the Google form link below. Other than that, have a great day and we'll speak next time.